How do you know she's the one for you? Stay tuned to find out.
Mr. Healthy Love.
Hi, I'm Mr. Healthy Love, your dating and relationship coach, and today we're going to talk about how to ascertain whether she's the right one for you and what the difference is between the mentality you have when you are single and the mentality you should have when you're in a relationship. Let's say you've been dating for a couple of months now and you've grown very fond of this woman you are dating and you'd like things to progress further, but maybe you've been single for quite a while, or maybe this is your first ever potential girlfriend. She's pushing for you to be exclusive, but you are a little hesitant, not because you don't want to be with her, but because labeling the relationship as boyfriend and girlfriend makes you feel a little unsure. And you might be asking yourself, is this a normal feeling to have, or am I weird for being hesitant to want to commit? Or is this even the right woman for me? Well, of course, it's going to be a little strange at first, because depending on how many relationships you've had before, a large proportion of your life you've been single maybe and completely independent. And what does this mean? It means you could do whatever you wanted and not have to consider anybody else or take another person's opinion or feelings into account. What you're actually concerned about is being in a commitment with somebody else which limits your freedom in some kind of way. Because when you're in a relationship, you can't do whatever you wanted to do to the same degree as when you were single. That means you can't be chatting up other women and dating them if you want a monogamous relationship. And this can be quite a shock to your system. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person, but what it does mean is you need to be able to accept and be content with certain limitations that you can no longer do. And most of the time, it's really just a mental way of how you look at things. Because you might have been dating this woman for the past 2 months, and the longer you've been dating her, the more you want to spend your time with her, and you don't even want to be dating other women. But as soon as you have to make that commitment to being her boyfriend, you pull back a little. And what is that feeling? It's a feeling of fear of losing certain aspects of your previous lifestyle. Because if you do take monogamy seriously, then it's quite a large step to take to make this kind of commitment, because ultimately you don't go into a relationship with the intent of breaking up with someone. So you might be thinking, is this what I really want? Where is this leading to? Do I want to marry this woman? These are perfectly normal questions that you might be asking yourself. And no one wants to be shackled down in any way. But by making a commitment, you should be looking at it more as you still have a choice. You're not losing control of your life in any way, but you choose to be with the other person and you choose to want to not date other women. But what I would say is this: there is never going to be a perfect person because human beings aren't perfect. In fact, they're perfectly imperfect. So if you're hesitating because you think the grass may be greener with somebody else, then take your time to look at all of the positives that this person has and weigh that up with what you look for in your ideal person you want to be with. In fact, make a list of the characteristics that you want in a woman and then prioritize them from 1 to 10, let's say. And if this woman that you are dating has quite a few of these characteristics and at least a couple in your top 5, then ask yourself, what are you really hesitating about? Nothing has to be everlasting, and the more time you spend with someone, the more you're either going to grow and love them for who they are, or you're going to grow apart and realize that you aren't meant to be. But what I would say is this: if it isn't what you're looking for, and there are quite a number of characteristics that don't make your list, or you're not fond of, and there are characteristics that you don't really like, or there are red flags that you're trying to ignore, then it's quite likely that these flaws that you are finding are only going to be exacerbated over time. And the more you commit to someone, the harder it will be to get out of the relationship. It's much easier to get out 2 months in than say 6 months down the line. Why? Mainly because you'll begin to worry that if you do let her go, you might not find anyone else as good. And that's where people make the mistake of continuing to date someone because of the fear of being on their own. And it's a little bit of a trick that your brain is making, because of course you're going to have a stronger connection with a woman that you've been with for many months as opposed to another woman who you've only known for a couple of dates. And yet your brain tells you that they are nowhere near as good as your ex-girlfriend just because of familiarity. So it's a commitment that you're making when you choose to be exclusive with someone. And if you're having serious questions, then I wouldn't just ignore them. But if your concerns are more just a fear of having to adjust your life to one of commitment with someone as opposed to being completely free to talk with anyone you want, then it may just be that you need that time to adjust and get used to being in a relationship. You don't have to beat yourself up about it, but if that's what you're looking for, give it a go and enjoy being with that other person, and if it's the right person, then you will know eventually over a longer period of time. You may realize that it's not all that bad having a girlfriend who can be there for you during the good times and the bad, and who is there to encourage you to be the best man that you can be. So I hope you found this video valuable, and give it a like if you did. And if you're new to this channel, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and push the notification bell for videos similar to this one. And if you'd like any one-to-one coaching, then I do telephone coaching and email coaching sessions at my website at mrhealthylove.com. And if you're a woman watching this, then I do also have a women's channel, which you can find up here or in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.